Welcome back to the library, dear wanderers. Today we're heading back to Library Wing 1, the Hidden Nest, back to the First Oaks shelf, where we'll pick up the first work we see, a short poem brought to the library by Imperatrix. Now without further ado, Just Friends. Maybe we can be just friends. I'd love be just friends. Just friends, you and me. Just friendship. I'll be your friend. You'll be my friend. Boyfriend. No, I don't want. At least I pretend. Pretend that I don't want. Don't want you as a boyfriend. I want you as my boyfriend. I want you to end with him. I'm a narcissist. I'm a materialist. I want you as my boyfriend. I'd love to be your boyfriend. Not just friends, you and me. Not just friendship. I'll be your boyfriend. You'll be my boyfriend. Boyfriend. Friend. But I like him too. He's my friend too. I want him to be happy. Happier than me. He's my friend. I want to be a good friend. I want the better to him. Even if it means you, being with you, touching you, loving you. It shouldn't matter, but it matters. I want to be happy. I want him to be happy. I want him as my friend. I love him as a friend. Just friends, him and me. Best friends. Some say that we could be together. Him, you, me. No, I don't want that. You don't want that. He doesn't want that. I want you. You want him. And is it okay? Isn't it? Just friend? Him, you, me? Maybe we can be just friends. I'd love be just friends. Just friends, you and me. Just friendship. An enjoyable little poem. I believe the author of this was also the one who wrote about sleep that we had so many times ago, and his children. But for now, we'll move on to the next work. This one, almost short paragraph, brought to us by Carolyn W., who I believe we've had run-ins with before. But for now, let's get into it. Cells. When they first contact us, they will not understand. Everything is whole where they are from. They have no constituent parts and do not have groups. There are no brittle things. Only shapes that deform when others were struck. Or so they'll tell us, after they learn to string words together as children do. At first, they will want to know how we speak. They will love our metaphors. The way we call blood cells deliverymen, the white ones warriors, they will hear us speak of our stomachs as if they own minds, and believe it with abundant naivety. Soon they will be like poets, connecting everything and anything. So the people of a village are the neurons of its brain? I will laugh and say, perhaps. And the trees are little follicles of the earth's fur, the clouds the earth's breaths. Us artists will nod our heads in agreement until they ask, what body is the earth a cell of? I will hate to disappoint them. I will say, there is no higher rung. The earth is its body, the cell of none other. It is a changing form, but it is alone. It is a whole shape. It needs no parts and forms no groups. Now I know who I am speaking with, so your world is not so different from mine. This is the moment we realize their size. Yes, a nice short little story. Next is a rather longer story brought to the library by Regan. Now, without further ado, Stranded Star. Most Port Lintangel inhabitants have never met a Lajong, the de facto rulers of the city, although everyone has heard the rumors about them. Many regard the Lajong as the most beautiful species currently in existence, or at the very least in the realms where Port Lintangula is located. Their iridescent carapaces mesmerized everyone who had the honor of meeting them. The portion of their bodies somehow fits within the idealized beauty every race pursued. Most suspect them of using hypnotic or similar abilities, but most dismiss that claim as ramblings of the starstruck or the envious. Now that one of them was standing in front of me, I cannot decide whether to support or deny that claim of mind-altering reality. The splendor of the Lajong was comparable to one of the ancient gods, inspiring awe and terror alike in its beauty. Swirling cosmic colors overlaid themselves on the carapace of the being, the three-pronged pincers hanging in their side reminiscent of mythical divine weapons. Their flat tail, evidently suited for swimming in their ancestral oceans, now somehow evoked the memory of flight, cementing their silhouette as a denizen of the heavens above. Well, whatever above means in this place. Greetings, esteemed explorer Jerv Angunong. I am Muchar of Lindangula, the current ruler of this port city. The withstanders upheld the peace of the many realms, and the holders carry the weight of existence on their shoulders. Yet society cannot thrive merely by existing in silent peace. As such, we of the Lajong have taken the initiative to ensure that we all could live in a functional society, instead of festering in the rot of our past homes, at least on this realm. I winced. The wound from the loss of our home world was still fresh in our minds, as not even a century had passed from the Great Cataclysm. I suppose the Lajong had been numbered after so many millennia. Please, Excellency, you can call me Anganung. For what reason have the exalted ruler of Lentengula summoned this lonely explorer? I would not permit myself such insolence, esteemed Jur Anangung. Even as we called ourselves rulers, we are but servants of the people, our power existing only because the people recognize it. Jur was already an honorific reserved to warriors, but I held my tongue from correcting them. All who reach this place are warriors, so Jur might as well be part of our names now. Without explorers, the port will become useless, and the city will collapse. My compatriots provide valuable services beyond what we Lajong could ever accomplish, or indeed ever hope to repay. Recognize your skill and bravery. I intend to commission your party, Jur Anangung, to salvage a buried cache of ancient technology and share your discovery with me. Of course, I will also provide material wealth supplies that your people would need and more, on top of the invaluable arcane technology of races long past. Well, what else would you call an explorer for? Again, I swallowed my remarks. Jur Angkilam, however, decided that the speech and pleasantry had gone long enough. Where and how dangerous? My companion asked Makar directly. At the core of this realm, within the smooth stone mountain that the abandoned Sioux citadel was carved into, I have received a trustworthy information that the mountain, a structure of material even the most brilliant Lajong scholars yet to comprehend, is in actuality an ancient ship. I wish that you would investigate the mountains and recover what technology you could. Of most interest for us is retrieval of any computers and storage devices within.
The mountain rooted many thousand times our height into the ground and more than half that in width. Unless we have a clear ingress point to this supposed ship, it is simply impossible to breach that many sandstones.
Unless, that is, you are in possession of Sioux technology. Makar waved one of their limb, and a servant brought in a large axe shimmering in aurora colors. Do you know what this is, esteemed Jur and Kalam?
You mention that it is a Sioux artifact. Is it the tool they used to carve the citadel?
Against all our expectation, the Lajong laughed in clicks and snorts, somehow maintaining majestic mannerisms with their mandibles. I am sorry. I had the servants brought a normal axe with simple trickeries. I had thought it would be amusing for you too. Suddenly, losing the luster, Makar signaled the servant to take the axe away. We do have a Sioux artifact in possession, a device that disrupts ionic bonds. Even smooth stones become unstably soft when exposed to such a device, allowing you to dig into them normally. I will give the artifact to you should you decide to accept the request.
We can make a devastating weapon from this technology.
You mean a very cruel and terrifying weapon. Against living beings, a weapon made of such technology would destroy the very structure of cells and genome sequences. The victim would be left to waste away, unable to heal themselves. I shoveled a pile of pulverized sandstone away from the mountain. The Sioux artifact rendered the enigmatic substance into pure white sand, as easily as one might shatter tempered glass. The withstanders won't just ignore it.
How deep are we digging?
Jur Angdalam complained.
This mountain is 2 kilometers across. Are we going to dig a tunnel straight through?
Nah, worst case scenario, we just have to dig halfway and then down.
Ha ha, very funny. Can't we just borrow an excavator?
We can't because... I actually have no good reason not to borrow an excavator. Jur Angangang?
Jur Ankalam turned at me, only to find my face retracted in my shell, shovel still moving ineffectually against the smooth stone.
Well, neither does our leader, apparently.
I have no excuse. I'll call the contractor. I mentally reached towards my neural implant, biomechanically connected into my antenna. A couple of rings later, I reached Makar, and I used my shell as a loudspeaker so everyone could hear the Lajong through the call. Hello, exalted Makar of Lentingla. Greetings to you as well, esteemed Jura Anganong. Have you found any interesting information, or have your team encountered new difficulties? It is unfortunately the latter, although it is not exactly a difficulty, merely an inconvenience. We are wondering if Your Excellency Makar could lend us an excavator to assist in the digging process. Surely it would benefit us both. Unfortunately, that would be impossible, honored Jur Anganung.
Our information suggests that the power generators aboard the alleged ship consumes a rather volatile fuel source.
Volatile? Was it hypergolic? Supercritical fluid loop? Quasi-critical nuclear voltaics? We can handle them just fine. Though we might bill you for the hazmat disposal.
It's, well, in a way safer than any of those, but also worse.
Just tell us already.
Jur and Kalam cut them impatiently. The ship is fueled by antimatter.
My implant severed the connection, falsely interpreting the shock as we all spontaneously jumped away from the mountain.
Jur and Ganang, you must understand.
I didn't let the Lajang finish their sentence as I slammed them to the wall, my arms extended in weird angle. The Lajang is taller than me. The guards and servant approached, but Makar waved their limb and signaled their underlings to hold back. You gave us an ionic disruptor and knowingly told us to fire it at the walls of antimatter-fueled ship. What else is there to understand, Your Excellency?
The disruptor remains the only device capable of affecting the otherwise invulnerable Smoothstone. It is without doubt the same device the Sioux civilization used to carve.
That's not the point. What if we had damaged any component of the antimatter containment? Never mind us, even the holder wouldn't be unscathed. You have endangered all of existence.
I would not have risked the excavation if the rewards is not worth the possible sacrifice. Imagine, mighty Jur Angnang. The amount of antimatter needed to move a ship of such magnitude would be enough to power our realm for millennia. Never again would I.
And if we failed, there would be no realm to be powered.
Jur and Kalam approached me, the Sioux ionic disruptor in hand.
Some of us might die, but it is a risk you're willing to take, isn't it, Makar of Lintingla?
Jur and Kalam pointed the disruptor at the Lajang in my hand. And Kalam, wait! I wasn't able to finish my words as the disruptor flared with arctinic radiance. Its light scorched my retina even as my head fully retracted into my shell and my eyes shut as tight as physically possible. When I opened my eyes again, the Lajang's complex head had turned into sand, sparks of free electrons jumping between the mineral structure composing their carapace. I dropped the lifeless body on the floor, the Lajang servants panicking around me. Oddly, the guards seemed rather uncaring. Was it because the withstanders would have handled it anyway? It is a murder.
You almost disintegrated my hands, Ankalam. I brushed shell with death because of you. How would you defend this crime?
Juranangan, we have a much bigger problem. We must leave this realm before the withstanders come.
I mean, you don't have to, really. I'm the one who disintegrated that fool's head. The withstanders would have all our testimonies.
Larger crime still. By using the Ionic Disruptor as a weapon, you have robbed our species of a formidable asset. The withstanders would no doubt confiscate the Disruptor. Ankalam, answer me. Do not be so harsh towards your companion, Jur Angang. A voice appeared behind me. From the still sparking head stump, the scratch and harsh tone reminiscent of thunder. Modulated arcs, I realized. Esteemed Jur Ankalam, merely deduced something about our race related to the fact that all known species regard the Lajang as the most beautiful of them all. the Lajung's body cracked open, and from within it a smaller creature emerged, remarkably similar to the larger body, but without the uncanny and almost divine perfections. The pale blue carapace looked fragile against the heavenly permanence implied by their previous form. "Now you see me, Angung's party. A Lajung in the flesh, we seldom get out of our shell, even in a meeting between only our own." With a wave of their claws, two opposable prongs in this form, the servant carried the empty shell away. Vulnerability breeds fear, and fear poisons rulers. Hence, the shell. Without the shell, the Lajung was half my height, but authority still radiates from their stands. "You're giving me too much credit, Merche, eh? I had only banked on your people not having central nervous system, and having a way to restore blasted heads, as any paranoid rulers would." An-Kalam, no honorifics for a traitor, gently lowered the disruptor. "If we accidentally breached the antimatter storage, that would happen to all our bodies, cracking the realm, wounding the holder. We will not continue with the excavation." An-Kalam turned to me. "Now would we, Angung?" "Not unless we have safer ways, no." I cursed in my heart. What a great leader you are, Angunung, obedient hands of the Lajung, and now speechless against the subordinate I denounced as traitor mere moments ago. "We will, however, keep the ionic disruptor." "So long as this affair remains your secret, I will allow this bargain." "Our secret, but not yours? You cannot be seriously considering to—" "And what, pray tell, gave you right to forbid me from doing so, from doing anything? Your incompetence means I have to begin my effort anew to seek a better excavation team in your place. One more valorous than yours, courageous in pursuit of the realm's betterment, not blinded by the mindless pursuit of safety your unhatched eggs covet so much. I have graciously let you have payment for a job unfinished, to let you keep the artifact instead of rightfully confiscating it from you. Now be gone." "Just to confirm, do we have a safer method to continue the excavation?" An-Kalam asked as we walked back to the smooth stone mountain, a mere standard day since An-Kalam disintegrated the Lajung's shell head. "Sure we do. It would be simple enough to dig a spiral path around the hull. We'll be digging for longer, but with far less risk." It was a gamble. Behind me, An-Kalam walked while playing with the bronze coin, an antique we recovered near the gateways that our people arrived from. "Wasn't it that the Lajung or the explorer they hire wouldn't realize it until we're finished with this ship?" "It's better that the Lajung think we don't know, and convinced that there's no way to safely enter the ship. It would discourage further effort while we harvest the bounty of the ship. And most importantly, dispose of the antimatter. The realm-cracking substance has no place in this afterworld. I wrapped the surface of the disruptor nervously, careful not to touch anywhere near the trigger. Let's hope the rumor about the antimatter could spread sufficiently in the port. "All in a day's work." An-Kalam flicked the bronze coin. "Head," I muttered in my heart. "All in a day's work." And that's where we'll wrap it up today, dear wanderers. Thank you very much for coming. I had a little bit of trouble reading these. There was some grammar that tripped me up, and names that I do not understand how to pronounce in the best of times. But, again, we must wrap up here. Thank you for coming. Good luck out there, and I hope to see you all next time. Make sure to say something nice about yourself, even if it's only to yourself.